What if more mythical Pokemon got Mega Evolutions? This is something that I've been exploring in a couple of recent videos by giving some mythical Pokemon Mega Evolutions of my very own. And in this video, I'm back for even more, so let's get into it. Since Megas are making their return in Legend ZA, it only feels right to start with a Kalos mythical, especially since Diancie is currently the only mythical Pokemon that even has a Mega Evolution. With that said, we are going to be giving Volcanion the Mega treatment today, so this is what I think Mega Volcanion could be like if that were to ever happen in the actual games. I've always loved Volcanion personally, as it not only has the insanely cool fire-water typing, but it also just looks like a hulking beast of a Pokemon that has a really cool look to it. So I essentially just wanted to bring more of that out of it in this design. In particular, this Mega uses Volcanion's own signature move as a general concept, with that of course being Steam Eruption. The idea is that upon Mega evolving, the pressure inside Volcanion's body from an influx of steam that its body was producing because of the Mega Evolution grew so great that it actually caused Volcanion's body to rupture. This created an opening at the top of Volcanion's body, causing it to resemble a volcano following the eruption of steam that has burst out of it. Although this surging energy has made Mega Volcanion into an exceptionally powerful Pokemon, it has also debilitated its body, forcing it to hold itself up with the cannons that are attached to its back. So this concept not only uses Volcanion's own design traits, but it also blends them with the more morbid side of Mega Evolution, that being that the huge surge of energy that Mega Evolution causes can apparently cause harm to the Pokemon themselves. I feel like these two sides blend together really well here and make for what I feel like is a pretty cool Mega Evolution. Regarding this Mega Evolution's stat boost, there is a part of me that honestly wants to just take Volcanion's 130 special attack and round it up to an absolutely massive 200, while using the remaining 30 base stats to sort of round off its defenses and physical attack. I feel like this would not only make Volcanion into an absolute powerhouse, but that it would also do it in a way that accurately reflects its design. So even though a base stat of 200 in anything is absolutely bonkers, I think it would genuinely be a great fit for this Pokemon at the same time. And so overall, this is what I would like to see in a potential Mega Volcanion. Moving along though, we are now going to take a look at another mythical next, and that mythical would be Manaphy. While Manaphy is pretty popular, it also feels to me like the kind of mythical that could also benefit greatly from getting the Mega treatment. So I would really want to see Manaphy get a glow up with a Mega Evolution, and this is what I believe that could look like. Now, as a part of this glow up, I also decided to give Manaphy a new type. So after undergoing Mega Evolution, Mega Manaphy would become a Water Psychic type. As you'll soon see, I think this design could also be part Fairy type as well, to be honest, but I ended up opting in the direction of a more legendary aura with the Psychic type at the end of the day. Like with most Megas, I also just wanted this design to be more of what makes Manaphy Manaphy. But with Manaphy in particular, this was a lot of fun because Manaphy is based around a sea angel. And with a neat and unique concept like that, I thought it would be fun to have the Mega Evolution emphasize that angelic nature. That is why its arms have come to resemble wings in the Mega, and why its antennae have greatly increased in length to resemble a ponytail, which they admittedly already kind of do in the base form, so it was more just about embellishing that trait here. Since Manaphy is also one of those mythicals that has a even base stat total with clean 100s across the board, I feel like it only makes sense to maintain that by giving an even boost of 20 to each of its stats, with the exception of HP. I also felt like it would be cool to give Manaphy a new ability as well, and it's one that I am calling Hydro Healing. It's sort of like a new version of its current ability, Hydration, and it grants a small HP boost to Manaphy every turn whenever it's raining, kind of like a reverse Sandstorm or Hail. So with new additions like a new ability and a new type, I think it would honestly do a lot for Manaphy to just add some pizzazz like this to it. And while it is already a well-liked Pokemon, I think it would be awesome to see Manaphy get that kind of special treatment. Next up, we're going to take a look at another Sinnoh Mythical, and that is Shaymin. If Shaymin got a Mega Evolution, I believe this is what it could look like. Now, as you can see, this is based on Shaymin's Sky form, which I felt like made the most sense considering that Shaymin's Sky form is already kind of like its elevated form to begin with. Design-wise, it is a bit more of a straightforward Mega, but the idea was that with Shaymin's Sky potentially having some reindeer elements to it, and particularly when considering its flying type potentially also drawing from Santa's reindeer as well, I basically just wanted to do more of that and bring more of those elements from Shaymin's design while also still maintaining its overall look and feel. This is where I think giving this Pokemon some distinct traits in other areas besides its design, like with its stats and abilities, would help out a lot, because those inspirations that I mentioned could be portrayed in this way while also at the same time giving this Pokemon some new shiny stuff to play with in the battle department. It's obviously going to get a stat boost of 100 anyway, just because it's a Mega, but I think in consideration of it potentially pulling some inspiration from Santa's reindeer, that it could specifically get a speed boost of 60, to reference Santa delivering presents to everyone in the world in one night. From there, I would also give a boost to 10 to each of the rest of its stats, other than its HP, to help maintain the balance that its base stats already have. As mentioned, I also like the idea of giving it a new ability, and although Shaymin's current abilities are already pretty good, one idea that I did have going along with this whole reindeer thing is an ability that I am going to call No Chill. This ability would cut the damage done to this Pokemon by Ice-type moves in half, which not only fits with the angle that I've been going for here, but it also addresses a massive weakness for Shaymin, since its Grass-flying type makes it 4 times weak to Ice. All of that is probably leaning a little too much on the Santa element, to be honest, but it's also pretty subtle, and I feel like it would be a cool way of helping Shaymin improve and also addressing some of its weaknesses. As we get into our next Mega, a big shout out goes to my guy Rgreywind for drawing the artwork of the designs that you're seeing in this video, and if you would like, you can check him out with the links in the description. The next mythical we're going to be looking at is Keldeo, and without further ado, this is what Mega Keldeo could look like. Keldeo is actually in a similar situation to Shaymin, in that it also has a second form with its Resolute form. So this Mega is based on this Resolute form, with the general concept being that the Mega is more or less achieving the status of a Sword of Justice, since the Swords of Justice are Keldeo's mentors within the game's lore. Additionally, while Keldeo does have that Resolute form, it doesn't actually do anything for Keldeo in-game. So I think a Mega Keldeo like this could be cool, as it would give this Pokemon some buffs that the Resolute form didn't get. Like with all of the Megas, it's obviously going to get that boost of 100 to its base stats, but Keldeo is a bit unique amongst Mythicals in particular, since its stats are not uniform, and it also does not have a base stat total of 600. So there's actually a lot we could do here in terms of beefing up Keldeo's stats. Since its whole trope is being a Pokemon in training, if you will, I really like the idea of turning this Pokemon's weaknesses into its strengths as a way to reflect its growth as a Mega. So I would give 60 points to Keldeo's weakest stat, which is its physical attack, which would make it its best stat at a whopping 132. With its attack being this high and its special attack right behind it at 129, it essentially would have a stat that could perfectly utilize each of its types with fighting and water, which overall would make it an excellent attacker. From there, I would bump each of its defenses up to a nice even 100, and then put the remaining 20 into its speed. And with that, you would have a Pokemon that has gone from young protege to a strong and heavy hitter that's even more powerful than its own mentors, which could be a really cool way to bring Keldeo full circle as a Pokemon. And now we have arrived at the victory Pokemon itself, Victini. It only makes sense for a Pokemon based on victory to be extremely powerful, and while Victini is powerful, it would naturally be even more so with a Mega, and I think a Mega Victini that looked like this would be amazing. I knew right away that I wanted to add some literal fire into this Mega's design, because with Victini being a fire type, incorporating actual fire into its design is the perfect way, in my opinion, of showing off the added power that this Pokemon has gained through Mega Evolution. Since Victini is also all about the letter V for victory, I knew that I wanted these flames to engulf its V-shaped ears, and then from there, also its little wings, which have also enlarged and are now also in a sort of upside down V shape as well. With Victini being one of those mythicals with an even 100 across the board for its stats, I also think that it would simply just gain 20 in each of its stats outside of its HP to maintain that balance. It also already has a signature ability, so I don't necessarily think there's any need to mess with that, but regardless, I personally think that this Mega Victini looks amazing, and I would love to see something like it happen in an actual game someday. You will have to let me know your favorite of this bunch in the comments though, and if there's any other Pokemon you want to see get a Mega Evolution as well. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video too, subscribe for more, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks so much for watching this one as well, I really appreciate it, and I will smell you guys later.